Hey gang, Chonky here. Today we're going to be doing a full walkthrough of the Festering Bog on Nightmare difficulty. I'm going to be playing as the champion. As I normally do, I'll go ahead and show you my character stats, as well as how I have my heroism distributed and my equipment. I'll go ahead and go over these quickly. You can just pause it if you'd like to actually see the specifics. And I'm going with the Bone Crusher set instead of the Demon Lord set because I really like having the 5% heal on Shield Bash, even though I do have aggression up all the time. And here is my heroism points. So I will say that the Festering Bog is the shortest and the hardest dungeon in the game that has been released. I know Ragewind Castle is going to be bigger and harder than every other dungeon that's been made so far, but for the time being, Festering Bog is turning into the dungeon to run. Now, I'm expecting this run through to take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half because I'm going to explain everything as I go, but if you want to speed run this dungeon, it shouldn't take more than 20 minutes if you really get it down pat and know exactly who you need to kill. It's a very small, cramped map. So the first section of the dungeon has about 7 of the bosses. And then there's a small town section with 2 more bosses, and then there's the final boss area. And there's one boss in that first area that opens the door to the second area, and then one of the bosses opens up the final gate. So ultimately you only need to kill 3 bosses out of the 10 to beat the dungeon. And I'll do another video that's a full breakdown on all the elite fragments and the quests and all that stuff. But right now, yeah, we're going to run through the whole dungeon. So first off, when you get in here, you're going to want to talk to Tobin Rockmore. He starts your quest, which is to kill first Acolyte Volterra. And then go back here and talk to Crick. You are supposed to be able to buy from Crick. There's a bug right now where you can't. But, there's a chance you could buy from him. But Crick's quest is you need to slay Pit Boss Pippa and get his treasure back. And if you return it to him, you will get this little item, the Treasure Finder. And there are these little glowing treasure boxes throughout the map. And you're only supposed to be able to see them if you have this Treasure Finder. There's not amazing loot in there, but there is just extra gear. So if you want to grab it and salvage it, or grab it and sell it, a little extra loot never hurt. And there's a bunch of the chests too. And then you have Myrna. She is Cletus's sister. She has a different color palette. So here's her palette. Let me move out of the way. And I'll put Cletus's palette over there so you can see the comparison. So, boom. Colors. Okay. And now we're going to move to the first area, which is the biggest area of the dungeon. I mentioned there's like 6 or 7 bosses out here. We're going to kill all 10 of them. Don't worry. This first area is going to have a few different enemies. So first off, there's the Husk. It's like a basic zombie. And there's Belchers and there's Butchers. So the Husk, and there's another variation called the Infected Husks in this area. There's Frenzied Husks later in the dungeon. But the Infected Husks will make these eggs, and the eggs will spawn more Infected Husks. So if a Husk becomes infected, they will start to spawn more copies of themselves. And whenever one of these Husks, or one of the Belchers, hits you, you will get a stack of poison damage. And yeah, so if you have 10 zombies hit you at once, you have 10 stacks of that poison or bleed, and it will kill you very fast. Not to mention the Belchers, when they hit you, they do increased damage based on how many of those stacks you have. So they can hit you like a truck if you have a lot of stacks on. And then there's the Butcher. The Butchers aren't too bad. They just deal high physical damage, and they have a high HP pool. They don't do any poison or anything like that, but they're going to try and just burst you down while the zombies put all that poison on you to, build up the damage they're dealing. So it's a really good combination. If you are dying a lot, you might want to try pulling less and less. I only pull one to 2 sections of guys at a time. But I'm going to go ahead and get into this. one of the reasons why it's so easy to die in the Festering Bog and why everything does so much damage is they are trying to prepare you for Ragewind, which is going to be, like I said earlier, a step above and beyond what Bog is doing. Plus, since death has no penalty in this game, you can sort of throw yourself upon the grinder in the hopes of eventually overcoming your foe. But it will also sort of humble you against the mobs and the bosses in this dungeon. Vultures. After 15 stacks of poison, I'm gonna die. Huh. Oh yeah, and this is one of those treasures that I mentioned that you can find after you beat Crick's quest. I don't know why I can't open that. Must be a bug. Let's open this one. Yeah, there you go. Alright, so coming up here, this is Boss Pippa's arena. Sorry, I had to do a few things, and I died a couple times as I wasn't paying attention, and the boss just kept coming out here to fight me. But, so this is Boss Pippa's boss arena. It's immediately, like, you go straight from the village, or the camp, and you come here. So this is where you're going to go for Crick's quest. There's also a bunch of spellcasters you want to kill before the fight if you can. Alright, so Pippa by themselves is not a super difficult boss, but if you don't kill these spellcasters, they will snipe you. They do fat amounts of damage. So this boss chest will give you the treasure for Crick's quest that I mentioned before. If you return that to Crick, the treasure, he'll give you his little treasure treasure finder, which is that nail-looking item. And yeah, you'll beat his quest. But there's also another spot super close to here. If you come into the back of this room and find this little pit in the ground, this is going to take you over to first Acolyte Volterra. So you're going to drop down here and you're going to do that boss fight for Tobin Rockmar. Before I jump down there, though, I did want to talk about the bosses in this game and their drops. So there's a cool thing with all of the bosses where they will give you a random fragment for one of the other dungeons. So any dungeon, like, there's no bog-specific fragment that you can get. But the bog will give you fragments for every other dungeon, as well as every other elite set. So you can farm any piece of armor here in the bog. And when I get to the elite fragments video, I'm going to break that down even further and kind of show like what you would have to run, what bosses you would need to kill to get what. But the bog can potentially give you everything. Plus, it's the best dungeon to run for magical cores, which is another video I need to make. But anyway, getting back to the bosses at hand, we're going to drop here and kill first Acolyte Volterra. She also has a bunch of these spellcasters in her boss arena, and they're going to hit you. Oops. Well, you can see how much damage they do. They hit you with a special form of a magic missile. So the wizard, how they cast magic missile, and they shoot like 16 bullets. The new breachers down there, they will fire a magic missile that is all 17 bullets in one. So it does so much damage. So you need to be really careful. You can dodge out of the way to avoid them. So if you're a melee character, you might find, like a rogue or a champion, you might find that being melee is killing you. So just try and dodge around a bit more if you can. stuck. Oh, I was not paying attention. Also, it's like super hot here. I don't know if you guys can see how sweaty I am. I'm sorry. Sorry I'm so sweaty. It is cooking. Oh boy. What are you doing? Get off of there. I've never seen Volterra stand up there before. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. She trying. Nice. All right, and there we have it. There's first Acolyte Volterra. So once you return to Tobin Rockmar, he will finish your quest. Now, since you had to drop in here and there's no way to get out, you might think you want to reload the last checkpoint. Don't do that. Instead, you're going to hurl yourself into this pit, because this actually will teleport you to another boss fight.
Welcome to my dimension. I was put here by our master Nu to find unique souls. I am a collector of sorts. Most that enter my domain, I devour. But you are different. I will take my time. I will savor your flesh.
So the Archdemon of Nu, after like a third of his health is gone, he will teleport around the stage and do these really powerful beam attacks. He does it again when he's at a third of his HP. So just, you know, be careful. It's pretty easy to avoid these. Just gotta pay attention. If you're a ranged character, you can still shoot him while he's doing this. But if you're a ranged, if you're a melee like myself, you just gotta wait and be patient. So there's the Archdemon of Nu. You can see I got a Dark Moon fragment from him, which, you know, like I said earlier, every boss will give you a random fragment for one of the other dungeons. Or sorry, no, he gives me the frozen one. Volterra gave me the Dark Moon. He does give you a tier 2 fragment for tier 2 armor. So that is something that's nice from him. And he spawns a portal that will take you up to Boss Pippa's arena. Now, leaving Pippa's arena... So leaving Boss Pippa's arena, to the right is a little bridge. This will take you to the boss that unlocks the next section of the dungeon. So we're going to save him for last. So if you keep going to the left... Oh, and that's a boss right there. That's a special boss. I'll explain him in a bit. Oh, oops. Okay. I think he might be bugged. Oh. Okay, so the next boss we're going to fight is called the Enraged Forest. So just to show you where we are... Oh, hang on. So I kind of ran around in a circle. So here's Boss Pippa's arena. If you just stay hugging the left wall, because this place is a bit of a maze, you're going to get over here to this little pathway. And this is the Enraged Forest. So the fourth boss fight that we're going to do is the Enraged Forest. Now, this is a pretty unique boss fight. It's pretty different in terms of all the other ones in Dungeons of Sundaria. It's pretty unique. There's 3 separate bosses that you could fight. You only fight one of them, but there's a potential of 3. And it is random for every dungeon run. So if you go back to town and you resume the dungeon, it's going to be the same one. So if you want to try and get a new tree boss to fight, you have to restart the whole dungeon. So there's the difference in the 3 is one of them, while it's doing its attacks, will summon a unit that heals him. Another one summons these giant nature damage tornadoes, as well as the other magic that they're given. And then the third one, that seems to be the most broken right now, creates a little treant AI unit to attack you whenever you deal damage to him. He also empowers himself when he gets to be at about a third HP, or not like 20% HP, and I've had this bug insta-kill me. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but I don't know. It's pretty crazy. So to start the boss fight...
Begone, foul corruptor. Stand strong. Fight against this madness, brothers.
So that was all 3 of them talking. To start the boss fight, you have to destroy the ghost who's attacking him. There's that bug. So I guess all of them can do it. So when speaking to the developers about that, one of them mentioned that you're supposed to be able to deactivate the buffs he gets by standing next to one of his brothers, because their pool is supposed to like reduce your cooldowns, but it's also supposed to deactivate that buff. It doesn't seem to deactivate that buff, and instead I just instantly die. So I'm not really sure what is supposed to happen. But I've had it happen where they don't even hit that empowered state and they just die. Like, you're able to kill them. So if this boss fight does frustrate you currently and they haven't fixed that, insta-kill thing, you might just want to skip this boss. But they do drop Demon Lord fragments, so I am going to kill it for the sake of the playthrough.
Fight against this madness, brothers. Be gone, foul corruptor. Stand strong.
Yeah, see that right there. Hey gang, so I'm recording this the day after to sort of readdress the Enraged Forest. I spoke with one of the devs and showed him what I was experiencing, and he let me know what I was going through. So what's happening is, with this boss, as well as several other bosses in this dungeon, they have a one-hit KO mechanic, and for the Enraged Forest, it's the leaf barrier, like I think he called it leaf barrage. It looks like Cold Snap's dome. It's green here, but if you are inside that dome when they buff themselves at 20%, you will die. It's instant death. So if you if you see them create that dome, get out of it. It also seems that I did discover a bit of a bug, because he was doing the dome 2 times in a row, and they have a bit of a cooldown. So what might be happening is he's activating the first dome, and then empowering himself and immediately activating the second dome, which shouldn't be a thing. But that is why I was dying so quickly. So with that addressed, I'm going to try and beat this boss fight the day after, and see if I can show you guys exactly how it's done. We might fight a different tree, because this is a new dungeon run through, so instead of, I think it was, I don't remember who I fought.
Fight against this madness, brothers. Stand strong. Be gone, foul corruptor.
Now that he's starting to get low, I'm going to start trying to avoid him. Oh, get away from me. He didn't even do the thing. Well, there you go, folks. That's how you beat the Enraged Forest. So yeah, when they hit about 20% HP and you see them empower where their fists glow with that different colored lightning, get out of the bubble. It's a one-hit kill. So you can bug the fight, as you just saw me do, where they don't power up, and then you can just beat them down. But in the instance where they would power up like they normally do, just get out of the bubble. I believe Troop mentioned, let me double check. Yeah, the light blue pools around the non-active trees give a 50% cooldown reduction. And then, let's see. Yeah, so right after the barrage ends, if you have him near the red area, it'll cancel it before he casts it again. At least that's what he's saying. Yeah, let's go ahead and open that. Cool. But yeah, so there we go, Demon Lord fragment and another random fragment as well as an eternal drop, just like I mentioned last night. But yeah, so anyway, back to the run. Alright, so next, I am just going to move on though. So I did get to show you guys the boss. I'll put a couple of the deaths in the replay of me trying to get it to work. But yeah, it was very frustrating to just die every single time over and over and over. So, let's see. So the next boss we're going to do is called Plague Claw. So Plague Claw was that weird, wispy, green-looking entity walking around, and you can't fight him in the beginning. You spawn him by killing all the Belchers in the first area, which you want to do anyway because the Belchers infect the husks and turn them into infected husks. So the more Belchers you have walking around, the more zombies you fight. And then, yeah, as you eliminate all the Belchers, then Plague Claw will slowly come more into focus. I don't actually think he gets more clear to see, but he's like that right now. And then when you start the fight, he's very much there. Oh, the poison. There's more Belchers floating around. Oh, probably over here.
I have raised countless.
Oh, there's a bunch of Belchers right there. Dang, well at least we're thinning them out. Alright, so... Oh, wait, I think we have a couple more, actually. Almost there, Plague Claw. Alright, started combat with Plague Claw. Nice. Alright, oh, here he comes. Now this boss just runs around, he'll focus you for a minute and do high amounts of damage, but then he'll like spawn zombies to attack you as well. His boss dungeon, or his boss chest, is dropped in the back of this area near the town, which is the second portion of the dungeon. And he drops 2 tier 1 armor fragments, 5 eternal essence, and then 1 of the random fragments as well. There's a boss right here as well, just off to the left, a little tucked away guy. This boss is super cool. This is the Blighter. So this boss has a really special fight gimmick as well. I'm going to explain the gimmick, and then I'm going to jump in there and you can just see what happens, because the bosses are going to talk for a minute and then they're going to like laugh at you, and there's a bunch of them and they're annoying, but I love this boss. It's really cool. So the gimmick, you can kind of see them popping up, but there's these bubbles that come out of the boss arena, and the bubbles will give you a buff for about 10 seconds. And what the bubble buff does is every so often, the Blighters will summon this different bubble that one hit kills you if you don't have that other bubble buff on you. So not only do you need to focus on taking out 4 different bosses, because there's 4 Blighters in here, you need to take out all 4 of them while maintaining that bubble buff, because any one of those Blighters can do the one-hit KO bubble at any time. If that makes sense.
Welcome, friends. We do hope you enjoy your stay.
I'm about to die. I'm about to die. I didn't pay attention to the bubbles. No! I got distracted. Well, there you go. Oh, I'm not dying. Oh, there we go. So now you see what happens. We're going to go back in there, and it's going to be different this time.
Welcome, friends. We do hope you enjoy your stay. For eternity.
At the start of the fight, you don't see that many of the one-hit KO bubbles, but once you drop their health a little bit more, then they start to summon them more often. I need one. Oh god, I ran out of bubble. I ran out of bubble. Quick! Oh, I'm dead. Oh, where did I got a bubble buff from somewhere. I we go. Ooh. Uh-oh. That didn't take? Oh, I need a bubble. I need a bubble. I need a bubble. I'm screwed. I'm screwed. GG. Just like that, though. Oh, there we go. Need a bubble. Thank you. Oh, that was close. That was a triple right there. Holy cow. Oh, they did it again. Oh, I need a bubble. I need a bubble so bad. Oh! Did I get it? No. Oh, crap. There we go. Oh, perfect. I'm gonna follow this. No, it didn't give me. Give me. Alright. Blighter was defeated, and there's a problem with the boss card. It doesn't always pop up. And unfortunately, he doesn't give you anything cool. You just get some Eternal Essence. But that is a really cool boss fight. There's a little crick chest. So now we're ready to beat the final boss of the first area, whose name is Warlord Torgoth. Oh, where am I going? And his whole gimmick is that he is a wave encounter boss. You have to fight 5 of his underlings before you can beat him. There's 3 different types of units you can fight. There's the Champion of Mog, who does a stun, a high damage AoE slam. You'll see he also does a move where he shoots fire like little fire blast things like Molabog in the Dreadforge, one of his moves. There's the second unit you fight is the Archdemon of Crass. He's like an ice mage who looks like Chancellor Iothere from the Dark Hollow. He will burst you down really quick. He also has a move where he knocks you back really far, which if he knocks you out of the boss arena, you have to do the whole thing over again.
I have raised countless realms, and yours will be no different.
The third unit you fight is called the Unholy Vicar, and they're more of like a brawler type. They have really fast attack speed and lifesteal, so if you don't outburst his healing, he'll sit there and just regen the whole time. And then once you beat 5 of them, you will fight Warlord Torgoth, and he has his own gimmick as well. His gimmick is that he will create these little lightning storms around him, and they do damage you like outside of their range, so if you're next to them, they still hurt you. He also does this move where he makes like a little puddle on the ground, and after a moment, a little whirlpool will form, and if it sucks you to the middle, you die. So you need to deal damage to him without staying next to him for too long, because he will spam those moves. So we're going to talk to the banner, and we're going to start the fight.
Champions, vanquish these mortals! I have raised countless realms, and yours will be no different. Go forth, my champions! Vanquish these mortals!
Yeah, you want to get out of that, because that'll kill you.
Go forth, my champions! Vanquish these mortals!
So the first 3 are always the same, and then it's random after that. Oh, come on. Okay.
presence of Torgoth, and yet you do not kneel? Such impudence! I shall bathe your world in blood!
Oh, that's that whirlpool move. The one hits you. Nope. Well, thank you. So Warlord Torgoth also, aside from the final boss, he also gives you a guaranteed... Oh, I guess it's not guaranteed. Well, he does give you a guaranteed tier 2 weapon fragment. I thought he also gave you a magical core. I must have just been lucky for a few runs. But anyway, that is the first area that has been cleared. Hold on, let me get rid of these zombies. Okay. So once you beat Warlord Torgoth, he opens the gate to the town. Now, in the town, you're going to find husks and frenzied husks, and then a couple bosses. That's it. No belchers, no butchers, no weird gimmicks. Oh, got a little turnaround. Here we go. There are 2 bosses in here. One is Commander Grieve. He's hiding under a headstone. And the other is the town council. And that's one of the hardest boss fights in the game. I'll explain when I get there. But I'm just going to run through this town real quick. Just aggro a bunch of zombies. Oh, hold on. We're going to do that again, but this time we're actually going to kill some. Oh, not enough. Okay. Oh, no. We're going to go over here first. So, that secret boss that I mentioned under the headstone is right here. Talk to the desecrated altar and it will summon Commander Grieve.
Have at thee, scoundrel!
He uses a lot of fire magic and will stack multiple instances of fire armor. So just watch out for that. Alright. Boom. So he drops a guaranteed eternal item, and then he also drops 15 eternal essence, and then one of the random fragments. So now we've only got 2 bosses left. Also, this is the only blacksmith in the dungeon, if you'd like to use it. Oh my goodness. They did not like that I went to talk to the blacksmith. Alright, we'll just do the last boss fight. Yeah, so this is the town council. So essentially what it is it's like 3 different, it's a 3-on-1 boss fight. So you will start out fighting the guy in the middle, and when he hits half health, you will aggro the guy on the left. When he hits half health, you're going to aggro the one on the right. And the kicker with this is they are standing in these red ritual circles. If any of them are in any of the circles, they will take 0 damage. They also will drop a red ritual circle on their death. So my plan for that is to kill them, kill the first 2 guys towards the edge of the map, so that there's not more invulnerability spaces in the center. There's another gimmick you need to watch for. The moment one of them dies, they will shoot like a little orb of poison damage at you. It's like a pink or purple big cloud of poison that does a lot of damage. So you really have to avoid those big clouds because they also last for a while. So while you fight the 3rd and final... sorry. I'm talking too much and not breathing enough. But the 3rd town council member will use ranged attacks on you, so you have to try and pull them out of the poison clouds, even though they're hitting you with ranged. So it's quite the fight. Let's see if I can get it on my first try.
Judgment arrives.
Pull him out of that circle.
I was unworthy. Oh.
Okay, so now, yeah, those clouds of poison right there, they will kill me so quickly. Come on, get out of the poison cloud. Oh, crap. That was very close. Oh, come on, get out. Almost done. Ooh, crap, I ran right into that. You just have to be really patient with this boss. But also do it with a sense of urgency.
We have failed the master.
Alright, I did it. First try, nice. So this one, you also get an eternal drop. You only get 5 essence, and then a random fragment. So nothing really cool for that boss. So now we've opened up the area right before Malarath. So we're going to clear out these zombies. Expected that. Okay, so before we do the boss, I wanted to show you a cool little trick. I don't know when they'll patch this out or if they'll patch this out. But right over here, if you want to go explore outside the map, just hit it like this. Pew! And now you're outside the map. You can run around, you can check out the boundary, you know, as far as the eye can see. You can, yeah, explore, do whatever you want. And this is for the people who actually watch the video, so if you're like, hey, I got to explore outside the wall, mention that in the comments. To return back to the regular dungeon, though, you do have to do last checkpoint. So if you want to have a little fun with a little boost point, there you go. You can totally get outside the map and explore, have a good time. Oh boy. Okay, so Malarath, he's got a couple moves you need to look out for. He's got a move where he smacks a big... He summons a green orb in front of him and he smacks it, and it'll hit you pretty much anywhere in the arena. He's got another move where he will hold his sword upright, and he creates like an area of poison underneath him. This will kill you very fast, and it slowly expands. So avoid them, and keep in mind where he puts them, because you're going to want to kite him around away from that area. And then he also has a move where he will just swing his big sword wildly in a cone in front of him. And if you get on the side or behind him, he won't hit you. So just sort of stay out of Malarath's front area unless you can, you know, absorb a lot of damage like I can, or a rogue. And then keep an eye the moment he raises his hand, get away from him so you avoid the poison that he spawns. And then when he gets to be at about 20% health, he's going to summon a clone of Molabog, who's the final boss of Dreadforge. And Molabog will just harass you the entire time. So, and he also doesn't take any damage. So once he summons Molabog, just focus Malarath, but you're really going to want to keep Samrock's Wicked Grog or a way to break CC on hand, because Molabog hits you with that spike move that stuns you for like 4 seconds. And if he hits you with that move while Malarath puts down a poison field or does like his cleave attack, he'll pretty much decimate you. So keep that in mind. The moment Molabog gets summoned, that's when the fight actually gets a little bit more difficult. And just keep on top of Malarath, and then when his HP finally hits 0, you're going to get so much loot. You're going to see in just a moment.
Tremble in the presence of Malarath. None shall enter rage while I live. So
there's the sweep move. You can see how much damage it does. There's the move where he hits the green orb and you take damage. That sweep move also, He shoots spikes on the ground. I don't know if you can see it, but it's also a ranged attack.
You are weak and feeble.
Oh, there's Bog. So much damage that poison did to me. You guys really need to be careful. What? Wow, okay. Crazy damage.
Tremble in the presence of Malarath. None shall enter Rage Wind while I live. So come, mortals, and meet your end. You are weak and feeble.
That did so much freaking damage. Molebug should be popping up any second now. Yep, there he is. Looks like he's... Oh, never mind. I was going to say, it looks like he's stuck on a tree. There you go. There's the Festering Bog. Here's the reward. You get the boss chest and then several other chests as well. Let's see. We got a Demon Lord fragment, Dark Moon fragment, and then an Eternal item. We got 5 Eternal Essence and a random fragment. Oh, there we go. There we go. And then we got a Berserker fragment, a Dark Moon fragment. And then in the final boss chest, we have 2 magical cores, 2 Eternal items, a Demon Lord fragment, a Berserker fragment, and then a random fragment, as well as 15 Eternal Essence. Now, the really cool thing about Malarath's boss chest is that it drops Malarath's loot and Molebog's loot as well, which means that you can get both of your Demon Lord set weapons from fighting just Malarath. There's a chance you can get both set items in one chest. So, I mean, this dungeon is incredibly useful to farm. If you're trying to farm just tier 2 weapons and armor, it's still worth it to go to Icy Depths because you can get 5 of the armor fragments and 7... Sorry, you can get 5 of the weapon fragments and 7 of the armor fragments. But here in the Festering Bog, you can run the dungeon so quickly. You can farm cores like crazy, Demon Lord fragments if you need them, as well as fragments for everything else. Like, this dungeon is incredible. The boss fights are challenging and really well put together. I think it all looks amazing. I'm really excited to see what happens at Ragewind, which is that place right there, just beyond the hillside. And, oh man, so hopefully we get to see that in a couple months. Expect some more breakdowns from me. I'm also going to do another Tekken video coming up for me hitting Emperor rank, as well as I want to finally put out some Meet Your Maker content. That game is so much fun, and I just want to videotape me watching the replays, as well as me playing really good bases. But I'm also going to finish breaking down the bog. There's a few videos I want to do here, so look for that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And hey, catch me on Twitch sometime. You can hang out with me and chat, and it's just chill vibes all around. But hey, thank you for watching. See ya.